Welcome to City Talk here on City Channel Pittsburgh, and meet our interview guest of the day, Laurie Dierker, Senior Executive Assistant to Chief of Staff Dan Gilman. Laurie, welcome to the program.
Thank you, John. It's wonderful to be here.
Is it really?
It is.
Not really.
It gets me away from my work for...
Oh, well, so it probably is wonderful to be here. Now I actually believe you. You have been here since the Caligiuri administration.
Yes, I started in 1977. I was a student at Bradford Business School. And the city came to the business school looking for some low-income city residents because they were hiring through the CETA program. It was called Comprehensive Employment Training Act.
I'm old enough to remember that.
Yeah. And I qualified, and then I missed the first two interviews, which were actually in the police department and the public works department. So when I was interviewed by the mayor's office, they asked me not to go on the other two interviews. So I was blessed.
They wanted you all to themselves.
Yeah. So it was like fate, and it was great. And I never imagined back then that I'd spend my whole career here.
Wow, that's great. Congratulations. So you're working with Chief of Staff Dan Gilman these days?
Yes.
Do you do a little work for the mayor as well, or just?
Oh yes,
yeah.
yes. I've always worked for the chiefs of staff, but I do aid anything that the mayor would need. And I sometimes do his schedule. Now, over the years, I've worked for Tom Murphy doing his schedule for a few months, as well as Mayor Peduto just recently.
So can you tell us something, without libeling or slandering them, about some of the quirks, if any, of the various mayors?
Well, they're each unique and different.
I would think Tom Murphy would have been persnickety,
No.
like picky, no?
Not at all.
Huh.
Not at all. He was really down to earth, a pleasure to work for. I worked for him the longest, the whole 12 years, his 3 terms. But they're all, you know, have different personalities. I enjoy working for all of them because it made it different every day.
Yeah.
In every administration, even though I was doing the same type of work, it felt different.
How was Caligiuri?
Oh, awesome. But you have to remember I was 18 years old when I first started working for him, so I was...
Were you intimidated at all?
Not intimidated, but just in awe of him being the mayor, and I'm sitting here working for him. It was very exciting when I was very young.
You must pause and look at the statue from time to time when you come in and out of the building.
I do. And the nice thing is I'm still in touch with his son, David, especially. We're friends to this day, and I met him when he was 3 or 4, you know. And it was nice to see the mayor's children grow up over the years, too, and be a part, actually, of not their family, but, you know, you feel like family because you've worked here all your life.
Yeah, I saw David the other day. He's doing well.
Yes.
What was Sylvia Masloff like?
I only worked for Sophie for 9 months because I had been home for 8 years raising my children until they went to kindergarten. But she was a character, like everyone says, but it was very interesting working for a female. And she was very strict. You know, about the office etiquette and the office dress code and things like that.
Oh, no kidding. So she was more of a stickler for that kind of thing than the other mayors, probably.
I think so, you know.
How about Bill Peduto? Can you give us some dirt on the mayor?
No.
No?
No dirt on the mayor. I had, of course, known him as a councilman, but I didn't really get to know him until I started working for him when he became mayor. He's a pleasure to work for. He's just... he's got an upbeat attitude. And
does he sit around talking about bike lanes like 24/7?
No. Bike lanes is just a tiny little part of what his administration's done. And it's always the question I get when I'm out in public too.
Is that right?
And I just say, you know, there's so many other great things going on in the city. This is probably, 2% of what's going on in the city. So.
What other kind of questions do people ask you?
Who was my favorite mayor?
Do you have an answer for that?
I don't, because at all different stages in my life, they've all treated me very well. I, really enjoyed working for all of them. It was great to, get to know, so many people through them.
Michael Douglas, or?
I've met Michael Keaton, and
that's what I meant, actually. His real name is Michael Douglas.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But go ahead. And how was that?
That was very, very interesting.
Cool.
He's just a down-to-earth Pittsburgh kind of guy, and of course all the. The sports teams, being involved in some of the championship parades. It's been the exciting perk of the job.
Do you remember any of the sports people you met?
Yes, Mario Lemieux,
wow.
Sidney Crosby, and...
were they living together at the time?
I don't remember,
not
probably
sure. That's
not,
all right.
probably
okay.
not. But I've met actresses and actors over the years too, and in fact, for politicians, I got to meet Bill Clinton, have a picture with him, a group picture, so that was exciting. And also Walter Mondale. That was a long time ago.
Yes, it was. So how was Luke Ravenstall? Because you mentioned you were young, and Mayor Caligiuri obviously was quite a bit older than you. Now suddenly there's a very young mayor in the office.
Well, I was working at the Pittsburgh Parking Authority for a short time, and Mayor Ravenstall brought me back. So that was a great honor. Like I said, he could have been my son. I have a son that's just like a year younger than him, but it was very enlightening to see youth and just, you know, excitement and different kind of like a hands-on, you know, getting to really know the office, because face it, when you're 26, you don't have as many life experiences as other people, you know, but I found him to be very engaging and intelligent. And
I've been asking a lot of people about the stereotype of your average government worker, and I don't just mean for the city of Pittsburgh, but anywhere in the country. People think we're just sitting around here twiddling our thumbs. What is your impression?
No, I know I work hard, and I always have, and I like to be busy. I love the city, and I feel I just work for the constituents more than just the mayor, you know, whomever the mayor may be. Most city workers, I think, really have a lot to do, because, you know, as you know, over the years, the workforce has gone down very much.
Yeah, they had to cut it for the budgetary reasons.
And no, I don't believe that, you know, we're taking a free ride.
So you want to continue doing this for the foreseeable future?
I think so. I'm going to be 60 in the summer, in August. And
you don't look a day over 29.
Thank you. I have a 33-year-old son and a 30-year-old son.
Wow.
I plan to stay for this term, you know, till the end of Mr. Peduto's term, as long as they still will have me. And in the future, I would just play it by ear, because, you know, every 4 years, you don't know if you have a job. You know, it's a privilege to be kept. And I think I've always been kept because I've been able to make sure I keep a high level of confidentiality, and I'm loyal to every mayor that I work for, and I never do tell stories.
Good for you. Just because I'm disappointed doesn't mean you're not doing your job correctly, because you are, clearly.
Right.
And finally, you're working for Chief of Staff Dan Gilman.
Yes.
He's 12 years old, is that correct?
I think 35.
Oh, okay. How's he doing?
He's great. He's doing a good job, and I think with him being a councilman, it's really helped him to understand what the constituents' needs are, and I see him really, you know, working on that area of the job, as well as the development and the day-to-day office operations in other departments as well.
Awesome. Laurie Dierker, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, John. It was nice to be here.
That's this episode of City Talk. We'll see you next time.